Joumana Kayrouz. You've seen her images on giant billboards across the metro. Joumana Kayrouz. You've seen her images on buses across the city. Now get to know Joumana Kayrouz.
The war broke out in my home country, Lebanon. I was 11 years old, and I saw a lot of bloodshed and inequality and poverty. You can't grow up in an environment like that and not be affected by it and not want to make a difference. I graduated from Yale University with a master's in ethics. I speak 4 languages. It has always been innate in me fighting for the underdog and trying to do whatever it is I can to make a difference in the world.
Let Joumana Kayrouz protect your rights. Call the law offices of Joumana Kayrouz at 1-866-YOUR-RIGHTS, extension 100, or visit yourrights.com.
برنامج يور رايتس مع المحامية جومانا كيروز المختصة في قضايا حوادث السيارات، مع نخبة من المحامين في اختصاصات عدة منها الطلاق والهجرة والإفلاس، يأتيكم الآن على الهواء مباشرة. طابت أوقاتكم مستمعينا، وأهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة من برنامج يور رايتس تأتيكم على الهواء مباشرة مع المحامية جومانا كيروز. بإمكانكم المشاركة في هذه الحلقة على الهواء، والأرقام في الاستوديو 313-769-6666 519-256-1023. هذا البرنامج يعاد بثه مرة أخرى على اليوتيوب. كل ما عليكم هو زيارة قناة جومانا كيروز على اليوتيوب. أيضا بإمكانكم التواصل معنا عبر الواتساب، والرقم هو 313-327-7074. مكاتب المحامية جومانا كيروز تتعامل مع قضايا الإصابات الشخصية، من ضمنها حوادث السيارات، إصابات العمل، قضايا الأخطاء الطبية، والهجرة والتجنس والضمان الاجتماعي. رقم الهاتف في مكتب المحامية جومانا كيروز 248-557-3645. تحياتنا لكم ونرحب بالمحامية جومانا كيروز. جومانا، مساء الخير.
مساء الخير رامي، يعطيك ألف عافية. كيفك اليوم؟
الله يعافيك، الحمد لله. نسأل عنك، إن شاء الله بخير.
كتر خير الله. مساء الخير لكل المستمعين. رامي، هل عم تسمعني واضح ولا بتحب علي؟
شوي علينا صوت أكثر جومانا، وكل شيء تمام.
بعد ما بعرف أي واحد منهم، فلح علي هيدا اللي
تمام.
هلا أحسن.
هذا تمام.
اوكي، this is what it is. اوكي الآخرين اللي هن connected للسبيكرز الهيدفونز هن للسمع إلنا نحن.
بالضبط
لصوتك أنت. فيري جود. أوكي، مساء الخير. أنا اليوم مبسوطة كتير، ومثل ما بتعرف حضرتك رامي تكلمنا تحت الهواء، عم بستقبل اليوم بطريقة رسمية لأول مرة على الراديو محامي أنا كتير معجبة فيه، ومعجبة كتير بجدارته، ومعجبة كتير بخبرته، وهو انضم إلى فريقنا. هو ما بيشتغل عند المكتب، بيشتغل مع المكتب. عنده 33 سنة خبرة في قانون الإصابات ضمن العمل والضمان الاجتماعي. الإصابات ضمن العمل يعني Workmen's Compensation، الضمان الاجتماعي وبالتحديد اللي بنقول اسمه SSI أو SSD. حكينا عن هالمواضيع بالماضي. صار لنا تقريبا 3 شهور بنتعامل مع المحامي. يمكن في مستمعين بيعرفوا عن مين عم بحكي، لأنه وقت عم يجينا الاتصالات هذا المحامي هو اللي عم يستلم كل الملفات. 33 سنة خبرة في مجال الإصابات ضمن العمل والسوشيال سيكوريتي. بحب رحب للمرة الأولى، وبإذن الله مش للمرة الأخيرة، وبالمعدل تقريبا مرتين بالشهر، المحامي لورينزو دي أغسطيني. Attorney Lorenzo Di Agostini, I am extremely happy to have you with us today. I know how busy you are. Thank you for coming to the office. Thank you for joining live on the radio station. I am very, very happy to introduce you to our listeners for the first time, and God willing, not the last time. God willing, on average, we will have you about twice a month. I know what a very busy practice you have. You have been practicing in workmen's compensation and social security disability, specifically SSI and SSD, for 33 years. Am I correct?
That's correct. And thank you for having me, Joumana. I appreciate the time that we can spend together.
I very much appreciate it as well, and I know the listeners are going to greatly benefit from your experience. Rami, can you tell me if Attorney Lorenzo Di Agostini is far from
yes, I think he's
yes,
far
you are
a little
texting
bit.
me. Yes. So if you don't mind, okay. Can you say something and let's see whether the distance is now correct?
Sure. Well, I look forward to answering any questions that the reader or the listeners may have, and hopefully that we can get some people some help.
Okay, so I am being asked if you can get a little bit closer.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Is that a little better?
Is that better, Rami?
Yes, it is better.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I will put his mic up. Okay, no problem. We'll see if this is better. So one of the things that sometimes other lawyers, they go back and forth from the mic, and that will be an issue. And I know you're very, very soft-spoken,
Okay.
so
I've never been called
yell,
soft-spoken before.
yell, scream.
Okay.
You are of Italian origin after all, right?
That's correct. Very proud.
Okay, of course.
Yes.
We're very happy to have you. I want to encourage the listeners to call because we have an attorney truly, and I speak now from experience. I mean, we've been working with him for about 3 months. And like I said, Rami, there are a number of listeners, I believe, who have already dealt with attorney Lorenzo De Agostini through our office. He and 15 other lawyers, a total of 16 lawyers, handle exclusively SSI, SSD, workman's compensation, and there are some lawyers in his firm who also do what we call short-term disability and long-term disability. That will be a subject for another day. So أي شخص بيحب اليوم يتصل عنده أي أسئلة لهذا المحامي اللي هو للحقيقة كتير عنده كتير خبرة. I was trying to find حامل بالمعلومات وبالخبرة 33 سنة رامي. ما في شيء مثل الخبرة بصراحة.
طبعا.
الخبرة واحدة مش كافية، بدك كمان شخصية، بدك كمان لطف، بدك كمان جهد. بس الخبرة حتى الخبرة هي أحسن من الذكاء. الخبرة بتعطي نتيجة أكتر من الذكاء، بس طبعا الخبرة واحدة مش كافية. 33 سنة خبرة بمجال السوشيال سيكوريتي ديسابيليتي وبمجال الوركمنز كومبنسيشن. Attorney Lorenzo De Agostini, we talked about how when you have a lot of experience, 33 years in your case, for me, I don't know, 23 years or something, I don't remember anymore, 1998. When you have a lot of experience appearing, first of all, studying the laws.
Yes.
And you're going to tell us about some nice changes today in SSI and all of that. I think people will like it. Studying the laws, number one, practicing those laws, number two, but going in front of the judges, the magistrates, dealing with lawyers on the other side, that is a very, very good asset to have as an attorney, and an asset that your prospective clients will greatly benefit from. Tell me why, 33 years of experience in workman's compensation and social security, result in great relationships, and who specifically does it result in great relationships? Why? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, whenever you've been practicing for that period of time, obviously you have plenty of experience. You've encountered different situations. You've learned from all the different things that you've encountered and come across, and that's obviously a benefit for your legal talent. There's also the relationships that you make. Obviously,
yes.
You are developing good relationships with other attorneys, with judges, with the staff members at the courts, with the people that you encounter, even in workman's comp. It may even be doctors that you're taking depositions of. Whenever you have good relationships with people, it always makes things easier. In other words,
if you have good relationships and you are respected,
Exactly.
and you carry credibility,
Yes.
then it goes very, very far. And it's a little bit who you know.
Absolutely, it's very much so. That always gives a benefit. It doesn't mean you're going to win a case, or it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to get something just because of a relationship.
Of course not.
But it adds to your value. It adds to what you can get, what you can demand, the types of things that you can do. And it just gives you a lot of, like I say, a lot of ability to be flexible and to represent your clients in any way possible and get the best results possible.
It gives you a great advantage. That's the bottom line. And yes, the advantage is not in that, exceptions will be made for you, not at all.
Right.
But when you've appeared, when you carry credibility because you have been doing this and people have seen your work in the
Yes.
past, when you appear before a judge and the judge knows who you are because you've appeared before the judge before,
Yes.
the judge has seen your ethics, the judge has seen your demeanor, the judge has seen your competence, that is going to greatly help when you appear before that judge, or in workman's compensation, we call them magistrates.
Correct.
In social security, you're appearing before
Administrative law judges.
administrative ADLs,
Correct.
administrative law judges, but also I think in dealing with the Social Security Administration, Administration, correct or no?
Yes, the staff is very important when you're dealing with the Social Security Administration. So you're providing documentation and things like that. There's timetables. There's who gets a hearing first, or how quickly a hearing gets scheduled, how quickly you respond to requests for information. All of those things can help you in prosecuting a case.
So help me understand when it comes to SSI or SSD. First off, are the Social Security Administration offices open right now for people who want to apply for SSI?
They are very limited in how they're open.
Okay.
When you apply, you can apply online.
Okay. May I interrupt you for a minute? I just want to ask one question. When you say the staff at the Social Security Administration, do you know them? Do you know many of them by name? Like we know a lot of adjusters because we deal with adjusters from AAA. They tend to be the same. Or we have several files with the same adjuster, so we kind of know who the adjuster is, the defense lawyer. Is it kind of similar in the Social Security Administration arena?
It is to a certain extent, but for me personally, I'm talking more about what we call the OHOs, the Office of Hearings Operations, where the hearings are actually done. That's a separate location than the Social Security, the district offices or those type of things. So the district offices, I don't have that great a relationship. I don't deal with them very often. I deal with the staff at the hearing offices.
Okay. Since we're talking about Social Security for a minute, number one, you just told me that the law changed effective December 21, 2021 to adjust for the inflation?
Yes, every year the federal government looks at the economy. They determine what the cost of living is. If there's a cost of living increase, there will be it will be reflected in the new rate every year. The new rate is issued around the 20th or 21st of December every year.
Okay, so you just notified me that the minimum now for there are other requirements, but the financial maximum, for qualifying for SSI is no longer $2,000. Now it is $2,500.
Yes, per individual and household. So
okay, and I'm going to take a minute to translate this because it's very important information. You also told me that the $793 maximum that one on SSI would get a month, not everybody gets that, but it was capped at a maximum $793, is now up to $840 or $845.
That's correct. That reflects the new large cost of living raise for 2022.
Okay, let me take a minute and translate this. So, Rami, بلغني انه بديسمبر 21 سنة الماضي، يعني من تقريبا شهرين ونص، اللي هو دائما الوقت من السنة اللي الفيدرال جوفرمنت بيطلع على الكوست اوف ليفينج، يعني على غلا المعيشة، لحتى يشوف اذا بعض الارقام اللي هي مساعدة حكومية لازم تزيد. وبالتالي قرروا انه للانسان اللي هو مؤهل للأساساي، دايما كنا نقول بالماضي انه لتكون مؤهل للأساساي مش بس بده يكون عندك إصابة، بس كمان بده يكون مدخولك وثروتك متواضعة جدا، لا أكثر من $2,000، صح؟ هلأ القانون تغير وصار لا أكثر من $2,500. سو علي الرقم من $2,000 ل $2,500. كمان كنا نقول بالماضي إنه الأشخاص اللي مؤهلين للSSI ممكن يحصلوا على تشيك بالشهر ماكسيموم لحد $793. غلوا الرقم كمان، الفيدرال جوفرمنت طلع على الكوست اوف ليفينج، طلع الرقم من 700 up to $793 لحد up to يا 840 يا $845 بالشهر. يعني في بعض الأشخاص اللي عم بيتسمعوا اللي بيحصلوا على الماكسيموم SSI payment بالشهر، هلأ ما عادوا عم يحصلوا على 793، عم يحصلوا على 840 أو 845. هيدول أشياء جداد بالقانون. Speaking of Social Security. وبما أنه عم نحكي، وخليني أرجع أذكر ضيفنا لليوم وبإذن الله مرتين بالشهر بالمعدر، هو المحامي لورينزو دي أغسطيني اللي عنده 33 سنة خبرة Workmen's Compensation and Social Security، وبالتحديد SSI and SSD. عنده خبرة 33 سنة في إصابات العمل وفي الضمان الاجتماعي وبالتحديد SSI و SSD. والمحاميين الآخرين بالمكتب كمان بيعملوا short term disability و long term disability. موضوع آخر لمرة تانية. وإنما بما أنه عم نحكي عن موضوع السوشيال سيكيورتي وبدنا نشجع اللي بحب يتصل ويسأل أي سؤال بخص Workman's Comp أو SSI أو SSD 313-769-6666 أو بيقدر يبعث لنا واتساب على الراديو 313-327-7074. كمان مرة 313-327-7074. بما أنه عم نحكي عن موضوع SSI، من الأسئلة اللي دايما بتجينا على المكتب، هل فيكم تقدموا كمحاميين بالنيابة عنا على SSI من البداية؟ رح نسأله هيدا السؤال. تفاجأت بالجواب والطريقة اللي هن بيتعاملوا مع هدول الأسئلة، ورح أرجع ترجمة للعربي. Attorney Lorenzo Di Agostini, speaking of SSI, not SSD, we get so many calls every week about, can you please apply as a law firm? Can you please apply on our behalf for SSI? We don't know how to do it. We want to do it right. And we don't speak very good English. And I was very surprised at what you said. You said, yes, we can. Can you be very specific and walk us through someone who's listening right now, who's going to call the office and say, I think I qualify. Can you help me apply? Say I called. And I think that I qualify for SSI. I don't want to do it. I want to do it right. And my English may be limited. How do you handle that?
Certainly. So this is what we do every day. This is one of the things that our law firm offers that's a little different than most law firms.
Yeah.
And so what we do is when someone calls us, I will interview them. And I will ask them the appropriate questions. And if I feel the case is worthwhile.
Meaning if they qualify for SSI. There is one thing to get SSI and there is qualifying. So you have to have the income, you have to have the medical. Okay.
Right.
We won't go into those details. But you take a look and you say, yes, you want to apply, but you will not qualify. And that's done.
Right.
But if the answer is yes, then what?
Then we will mail them out a packet in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
It's
how many pages?
A few pages, 3 or 4 pages of simple, easy questions like the names and addresses of doctors.
Okay.
The types of medications they're taking, things like that.
Okay, so simple.
Yeah, very
it's
simple.
It's not tricky at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And then once they mail that back to us, then we electronically file the case.
Okay.
And then if it's an SSI-only case, the government will set up what's called an interview, a telephone interview.
Okay, by phone.
By phone. And they will interview that individual.
And what if the individual does not speak good English?
So then we ask for an interpreter.
When you file is it an appearance that you file on behalf of the client?
It's the initial application.
So what is it called? What do you file? An initial application.
Initial application.
But the application has the name of the attorney, Lorenzo Di Agostini, on it.
And then we file with that, we file an appearance.
An appearance, okay. So now the Social Security Administration from the very beginning is on notice that you are representing this claimant or applicant?
Correct.
Is the correct term claimant or applicant?
Either is one, but we generally use claimant.
Claimant, okay. So the phone interview has to be done by them.
Correct.
You cannot do it on their behalf. But you said to me, it's very simple. It's very quick. It's not tricky. They're going to just ask you, about your income.
Yes.
And maybe if it's SSD or SSI, a little bit about your work history.
Yes. Only in SSI will you do that interview.
Mm-hmm.
And they will ask you about your financial situation because they're trying to determine whether or not you meet the financial criteria.
For SSI.
For SSI, correct.
Okay. And what if I need an interpreter, an Arabic interpreter? Right. So you've already notified them when you filed your appearance that I need one. So they will call me and they will have a translator available?
Well, they require that you try to provide a translator. So if you have someone who can translate for you, but if you require one, you can insist that the government provide you a translator.
So the translator does not to be certified.
Correct.
As a translator.
Correct.
So a son or a brother or anybody like that. All right.
Yes.
And let's say, I used my daughter and she translated for me.
Yes.
My work is done.
Yes.
Now it's your work.
Yes.
Now you will pursue the case until such time that I obtain SSI.
Well, there is a process. So the initial application takes several months before there's a decision.
Yes.
And if you are approved, then obviously we will help you get your benefits started. If you're denied, then we have to request to go before a judge.
Okay.
And then at that point, if there is a hearing before a judge, we will be there with the person. And if they need a translator, the government will provide a translator, a certified translator.
Okay.
And we will have the hearing, and the judge will make a determination.
Okay. So the amazing news is that you can, other than this very brief interview on the phone,
Yes.
you can represent them from the very, very, very beginning. And this is news to me, to be
Yes.
honest. So I'm going to take time to translate it. But we just had a question. So tell me, Rami, if this is good for Attorney DeAugustini's level. So say something, if you don't mind, Lorenzo. We have a question.
Certainly.
the-
I just want to say that we have plenty of clients that don't speak English or speak very poor English.
Yes. Do you have Italian? Ethnic Italian?
I've had a few, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have a question from Salam. And the question is, how do I replace a social security number card for my child?
There is a number that you can call. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me, but there is a very special number that's dedicated simply to changing your social security
So
card.
if you would be so kind to share this with me between today and tomorrow, when I appear on the radio tomorrow, I will begin, Salam, Miss Salam or Mr. Salam, I'm not sure, by sharing that phone number. And let's say we give the number. How easy is it? Will a live person respond, or is it automated?
Unfortunately, I don't know the answer.
And can I, let me go on the record and say, these are the things that don't require a lawyer, and that is why sometimes we don't know the specifics. But it's good enough that you do know that there is a dedicated
Yes.
phone number.
Yes.
So I think that right there, it's very, very much appreciated. I'm going to raise him a little bit more, and you tell me if it gets better, Rami. I don't know if I'm raising mine and not his by mistake. Lorenzo, can you say something?
Yes. As we talked about before, one of the things I think that should be mentioned is with Social Security, any type of claim, if you do not speak English, that's never a problem for us.
Okay, so it must be mine that I'm raising. All right, so I'm going to raise this one. Now, Lorenzo, you're going to give us the number?
I will give you the number. I don't have it now, but I'll try to get it to you so you can provide it at your next show.
Okay, very good. Rami, is it better?
الظاهر يمكن في واحد ثاني للمايك تبع لورينزو، فمش مشكلة، بعدين إن شاء الله نهتم بالأمر.
اوكي هلا عم بدأر ثالث واحد. very good. طيب خلينا بس نترجم شوي. معلومة مهمة جدا أنا بصراحة ما كنت عارفتها، بس الطريقة اللي بيشتغل فيها للأشخاص اللي بيهمهم يقدموا SSI واللي بدهم محامي يمسك لهم القضية. السيستم تبعهم بيتصلوا وبيقولوا بدنا SSI، بينبعت لهم بالبريد 3-4 صفحات هينين جدا لحتى يعبيهم صاحب الأمر ويبعتهم باك للورينزو. هون بناء عليهم لورينزو بيحدد، المحامي لورينزو دي أغسطيني بيحدد إذا هذا الإنسان اللي عم يحلم أنه يكون على SSI مؤهل يكون على SSI. إذا كان مؤهل يكون على SSI بينبعت له للمعني بالأمر باكت تاني بيمضي. هون لورينزو بيقدم application للسوشيال سيكوريتي ادمنستريشن ومع appearance، يعني عم بيبلغ الحكومة انه هو المحامي لهذا الشخص، ومع عم يطلب انترفيو للمعني بالأمر، ومع عم يطلب مترجم إذا المعني بالأمر إنجليزيته صعبة. كل المطلوب من صاحب الشأن انه وقت اللي بيتصلوا فيه من السوشيال سيكوريتي ادمنستريشن يعمل الانترفيو اللي بيقول هو انه سريعه جدا and is not tricky، يعني ما فيها شيء لحتى يوقعوا الانسان فيه. هي سريعه جدا، بدهم بس يتاكدوا من شغلتين من السوشيال سيكوريتي ادمنستريشن، وحده منهم شو مدخول الانسان اذا كان عم بيقدم على SSI، والثاني تاريخه بالعمل، لانه ممكن تكون أنت عامل اشتغلت في الولايات المتحدة بس ما عندك 40 كريدت، وبالتالي بتحصل على SSI مش على SSD. بتكون الانترفيو سريعة جدا، هيدا نمبر 1، وإتس نوت تريكي، يعني ما فيها شي بيخوف، وهيدا كل المطلوب من صاحب الشأن. أكتر من هيك مش مطلوب، لأنه وقت اللي بيبعت هو بيبلغ السوشيال سيكوريتي ادمنستريشن انه هو صار المحامي، هون بيبلش الشغل، وهون بيبلش ملف الابلاينج فور SSI اللي will take several months او عدة شهور. اما بالنسبة للاستاذ سلام او السيدة سلام اللي بعتوا سؤال عن how to replace a social security card للطفل إذا ضاعت، بيقول المحامي لورينزو دي أغسطيني إنه في رقم بيتصل الواحد عليه. هلأ ما قدر يعطينا تفاصيل لأنه قيلتها هيدي الشغلة أكتر من مرة، في كتير أشياء ما بتلزم محامي، وبالتالي إذا بتسأل المحامي يمكن ما يعرف التفاصيل الدقيقة والتفاصيل المملة، لأنه ما حدا بيوكل محامي ليطلب له social security card. منعرف كقاعدة عامة، بس يمكن ما نقدر نعرف التفاصيل. بإذن الله بكرة ببداية الحلقة، بكرة نهار الأربعاء ومنحكي عن حوادث السيارات، ببداية الحلقة منعطي الرقم للشخص اللي أو السيد اللي طلبت إنه the phone number للسوشيال SSN card. كمان مرة منذكر نحن عم نستضيف للمرة الأولى وبإذن الله بالمعدل مرتين بالشهر المحامي لورينزو دي أغسطيني، 33 سنة خبرة بقانون الإصابات ضمن العمل والضمان الاجتماعي SSI and SSD.
If I could interrupt.
Yes, please, always.
I do have that phone number.
Oh,
I
great.
just looked it up.
Okay.
So it's 1-800-772-1213.
Okay, and that's the number to
change or get a new Social Security card.
New Social Security card. Okay. لنحصل على new Social Security card الرقم هو 800-772-1213. 800-772-1213. كمان مرة 800-772-1213. Let me see what else I want to hit before we move on to... Okay, another question that we get asked a lot, Lorenzo, is can I be on SSI and work? Because a lot of people care about what comes with SSI, which is Medicaid,
Sure.
health insurance. So they do not want to lose Medicaid, but they may be able to work or wanting to work to supplement a little bit. I know we can talk about that for a very, very long time, and it gets even more complicated if you are on Social Security disability and you
Correct.
want to work. But let's talk about SSI. The short answer is what? Can you be on SSI and work?
The short answer is yes.
However, can you be on SSI and make $5,000 a month? No.
Not at all.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the best way to explain is this. For every $2 that you earn while you're
On
on
the side.
SSI, on the side, you subtract $1 from your SSI.
So if I was earning if the Social Security Administration is paying me the $840, if I make on the side more than double of that, if I make $1,700, that is going to eliminate not just what they pay me, but even worse, the Medicaid.
Correct.
But if I am even $1 less,
Well, again, that's where...
you may want to stay closer. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's where it comes into question as to why you're earning only $1 less. So the Social Security Administration will investigate that. And they'll determine, are you manipulating that so you're $1 under, or is it really the limit as to what you can earn?
But let's say you are not trying to defraud the government to keep the Medicaid. Let's say it is so.
Yes.
Then there is no problem.
Correct.
Okay. نقطة كتير مهمة كمان حكينا عنها بالماضي. سؤال من الأسئلة اللي بنسأل هو هل ممكن الإنسان يكون على SSI، يعني عم يحصل على SSI، عم يحصل على مدخول. المدخول هو هلأ صار بس لحد $840 ماكسيموم بالشهر.